Well, good morning everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm just out along the White River in the White River Valley again. Been out here many times. It's a convenient place to go. It's close to my house and easy access. I'm working my way up to Snoquerna Falls. It's not a long hike, about 1.5 miles or so one way. And it's about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so 0 degrees Celsius. Don't expect the waterfall to be frozen because it hasn't been that cold recently, and I can hear water running a little bit. So, but I am hoping it has been cold enough that there's some ice around. I've seen ice on the way in. The trails are a little icy in places. So anyway, what I'm hoping is I can get some mixed flowing water and ice. That might make for a good composition. Otherwise, just find something in the forest. So just glad to be out, and glad you're coming along. So let's go see Snoquerna Falls. Well, I'm just above where I did my introduction, and there's a really nice light mist and fog layer in these trees, and it would make for a great composition if I could find one. I was looking down below it. I like the symmetry of these fir trees, and I think that would work out really well, but just couldn't quite pull anything together. Maybe further up, but I'm not sure if the fog will hold. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Well, a quick update. It's raining, and I think we have a bit of a temperature inversion, which is also driving a cloud inversion. I can see some mist and fog in the valley below me, but now it's raining here. It was about 32 down below, and that's typical in the mountains, especially in the wintertime. Cold air is heavier than warm air, and it sinks into the valley. So a lot of times, if there's no wind, especially, the valley is colder than up higher. But I stopped here. I'm not sure what the conditions will be at the falls. It's always a crapshoot in the wintertime because it really depends on the water flow. There should be something. But I saw this old man's beard, which is a lichen that hangs on the trees in the Pacific Northwest. And it really made a great abstract kind of artistic shot, I think. So symmetry of the fir trees in the background. The lichen hanging off of this maybe white birch. I'm not a tree expert, but a deciduous tree that still has some of its leaves from last fall that are obviously dead, but they're kind of a tannish color, and I think they give a really nice contrast to the light green of the lichen and kind of the dark greens and browns in the background. It's more of an artistic shot, not really my specialty, but again, don't know what the conditions will be up high, so I wanted to get the shot, and I think it turned out pretty good. So let me know what you think on the abstract shot. I'm going to pack up my stuff here and head on up to the falls. Let's go. Okay, well, made it up here to the falls, and as expected, and probably as you can see, it's a little foggy. So hopefully I can use that to my advantage. It's kind of a mix of rain and snow as I've worked my way up in altitude. Make my way over here and see what I can see as far as compositions. It might be a little challenging. I don't know how much of the upper falls I can use because of the clouds and fog, but we'll see. And we'll try to keep my lens fog free as well. Always a challenge when you're out in these conditions. So let's see what we can find. Couple things on schedule. Yeah, take care of business first. Scout out the composition, see what I can find, and then after that, after the business is finished, I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. So let's go. Well, it was a little work getting up here. I had to come pretty high. There was a lot of like broken trees, brush, a lot of distraction on the sides. To get a clean leading line, I had to come up pretty high. It's totally safe today. It's just, you know, rainy and wet and crappy snow-rain mix right now. But this is probably the best spot for composition with a leading line to the water. So I'm going to get my camera, my tripod, my 24-70, and see what I can shoot. Okay, well, I made it back down. It's a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say, it's not dangerous, just a little precarious. You have to really watch where you're stepping when you're up there in the middle of the creek with the ice. I think I got a couple good shots. They might require a little bit of post-processing when I get home. But I'm actually not going to end it here. I promised you before that I was going to make a cup of coffee, and I didn't bring a thermos, so I brought my alcohol stove. So if you don't mind, and if you'll stick with me, I'm just going to run over the trees and get the stove going, make a cup of coffee, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about today. So let's go. I think this will work for a stove stand. Let's have a cup of coffee and talk about today. Well, I just had a coffee, feel a little better. If you're wondering what that contraption was, it's called a Mir, M-I-I-R, Porigami. I like a pour over when I'm back at my house, and a good pour over in the backcountry is also good. So that thing folds down, you can bring the coffee with you. I should have put a little more coffee. Wasn't quite strong enough, but it did the trick. So let's talk about today. Overall, it was a pretty wet day. I think the challenge today was dealing with the conditions. My equipment got extremely wet. That camera got extremely wet. My A7R5 did fine. It got pretty wet with the 24-70 on when I was up shooting the waterfall in the creek or the river. But the A7R5 is apparently better weather sealed than the R4, and I didn't ever have any trouble with the R4. I even dunked it in the Snoquerna River one time with the lens attached, and other than just drying out, it was still okay. So a testament to Sony's weather sealing, I guess. The other thing today is safety. If you notice, when I was up, I put my micro spikes on. You definitely have to have those today. It would have been dangerous without. It's not just the fact that that it's snowy, but the ice is extremely slippery, and you risk falling, especially with a steep and uneven slope. So made sure I had my micro spikes on. There was not any avalanche or any rock fall or ice fall danger. I did check that above. Hanging down from the waterfall, sometimes you get some large chunks. I was a far enough distance away that I wasn't really in danger of anything falling off the waterfall itself. But you always want to be careful and be cognizant and aware of what's above you. So I did take a survey of that, and made the determination that it was safe to be where I was. So anyway, I had my stove, my coffee. I'm really wet. The camera's really wet, so I'm going to put it away and call it a day. Hope you enjoyed coming along. If you have any questions about this location or some of the things you saw today, feel free to leave those down below. I'd like to, I try to answer every comment. So that's it. I'm going to make my way back to the car. I said down below it was a short hike, or I think I said that, but it's about 1.5 miles or 1.75 miles back to the car. It's still a light sprinkle, so make my way out. Thanks again for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.